Hey, my name's Justin. I am going to be a rising senior, so class of 2015, and I'm an urban studies major.
My name is Karen, and I'm a junior with an intended major in Iberian and Latin American cultures and political science.
Hi, I'm Marina Elmore. I am class of 2017, and I'm majoring in computer science and international security.
I'm Ricky. I am going to be a senior next year, and I am a chemistry major.
I'm Sanjay Siddhanti. I just finished my sophomore year and I'm studying computer science.
I'm Laura. I'm a rising senior, majoring in biology.
Hi, my name is Kendall Basabata. I'm going to be a sophomore this year. My major is most likely home bio.
My name is Blake Montgomery and I graduated in 2014 and I studied English.
My name's... Like, is that High School Musical? My name's Andy Zhao. I am in the class of 2016. My major is material science.
Hi, I'm Connor Kelly. I'm a rising senior, class of 2015, art history major in Duval, Washington.
So Karita asked, what is it like to live with someone that you've never met before?
Do frosh usually get along and get to know their roommates quickly?
My answer to that question is overwhelmingly positive. I think that my freshman roommate and I are still really close. We're really close friends.
So I think some people are always scared about living with a roommate who they haven't met before, and it's definitely a different experience. I personally loved it. I lived in a quad with 3 other freshmen, and I'm really good friends with all of them.
And we're just completely different people, but for some reason, like, we're so different, but somehow we like bonded really well, and he's one of my best friends. It was just awesome.
And I think it definitely depends on the people you're with.
Most people I know really had a great time and have become good friends with their roommates.
I know some friends who became best friends because they were roommates, and some who would just say hi.
I'd actually say the majority of people that I know are at least friendly with their roommates. I think that Stanford does a really good job of matching roommate pairs.
I would say it's probably really easy because the people that put all your roommate pairings together are really good at setting you up with roommates.
Stanford does an amazing job of pairing roommates, and throughout the entire year we just managed to get along super well. We were extremely compatible. You can tell that there was a lot of time and effort put into making sure that people are living with the right people.
In the off chance you end up with a roommate that you don't get along with off the bat, I think that even if you're not best friends with your roommate, you can be really compatible living partners, and I think that Stanford does take that into consideration.
I think some tips on how to get along with your roommate. I think constant communication, because you're all coming from different backgrounds and you don't know what each other likes. These little things, those are the real things that I think make roommate relationships bad.
Just make sure you're always communicating with your roommate whenever there's some sort of issue that's bothering you, even slightly. Just don't let it sit and fester.
I think that as long as you're open to meeting new people and just open to new types of experiences, you shouldn't have a problem.
And I think freshman dorm experience and just like housing on campus, what separates Stanford's from other schools is that the community's so good.
In your dorm you have more than just your roommate too, so I think making an effort to really get to know the community that you're in, regardless of whether or not you and your roommate are best friends, is actually the best way to have a great community experience in your freshman dorm.
The music scene is really interesting. It's getting a lot bigger. Like when I was a senior, it got a lot bigger than when I was a freshman. There's tons of music going on at EBF, one of the co-ops over by the lake. Totally invest in Googling like a concert calendar for San Francisco, especially if you really like music, and get a zip car or something for the night and then just go. There's like the Rickshaw Stop and the Fillmore, and the Independent is an awesome place. There's so much music going on around here.
Heather's question, which was, how do arts really fit into students' daily lives on campus? And outside of art students, how do people get involved in the arts? So I'm a hum bio major. I haven't ever formally pursued art of any kind, except I really love photography. It was something I picked up my junior year of high school. There's a lot going around on campus. There's a lot of, for example, there were a lot of photography competitions. I submitted to the undergrad photo contest, the art of science contest. Cantor does a lot of exhibits. So there's just a lot of places for you to put your work out there. You just have to really be aware and kind of look for those opportunities, and they usually work out.
Skylar asks, how do students stay healthy at Stanford, nutritionally and fitness-wise? So, freshman year, I mistakenly had the idea that you had to just study 24/7 to be successful here. And I was just very wrong. So you gotta make priorities for your own personal health, working out, swimming, doing whatever you like to do, rock climbing.
So Terry and Jake want to know, is it necessary to spend a lot of money to have fun on and off campus?
I would say no, it's not necessary to spend money.
And I would say resoundingly, no, it's not true.
I think that Stanford has a really fun social life on campus, which is something that I really appreciate.
For example, sporting events for students are totally free, so that's a really good opportunity to have fun on campus with your friends.
It can be pricey in the Bay Area.
There's a lot of free things to do or inexpensive things to do in Palo Alto and stuff, whether it be go to farmers markets, go on hikes. There's always something new to explore, and you don't have to spend a lot of money to go do that.
And do you travel to other places like San Francisco often?
I usually go to the city about once or twice a quarter, and it's about $9 to Caltrain to San Francisco.
I have friends that go up to San Francisco once every other week or even once a week just because they do stuff kind of regularly up in San Francisco, whereas there have definitely been quarters where I've only ever been up once in the whole entire quarter. Heather and Kelly want to know, what are some examples of on-campus jobs? And is it possible to work part-time jobs during the school year while still managing a relatively full course load?
For me, I had a tutoring job off campus, so it was just a 20-minute bike. And it was really easy to fit in my schedule.
As for on-campus jobs, I worked at the Sexual Health Center for 4 years. That was really amazing, and I learned a lot about my own sexuality as well as how to help other people learn about theirs.
I've had 2 jobs here on campus. Currently I'm actually a tour guide, and I love that job a lot. And my freshman year I also had a research job, and what was great was that in both jobs, they understood that I was a student first and that my job came second.
That was a really great time, and I loved working there.
So if I ever had any projects that came up or I had to study for finals, they were very, very good about making sure they were very accommodating to my class schedule. Because like I said, they know that we're students first. So Matthew wants to know, what's the party life like, and is there a party culture?
Yeah, there's totally a lot of parties around campus. Anytime you wanna get down with your friends, you can just do it. But really, if you're not into drinking or alcohol or the party scene, that's totally fine. Okay, that's enough of that.
I definitely think there is, but the bigger thing to know is that it's not the only thing to do here.
I really like Stanford because it's not just a party culture of go to the frats.
Well, it is there if you want to be involved in it. It's not, throwing itself at you. There's so many other things to do on campus. Whether or not you choose to go to different parties, there's always going to be another opportunity for you to have fun on campus.
Arnell asks, what's your favorite Stanford tradition / thing that happens every year? What's yours?
And for me, it's the Dia de los Muertos celebration in El Centro Chicano. They put on a huge festivity, a lot of beautiful music, dance, poetry, and it's really fun.
And I would say just the entirety of Big Game Week, the week that leads up to our rivalry game against Cal. There's lots of just events that you can get involved with. There's even a fireworks rally.
Matthew wants to know, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen happen on campus? Right after the Oregon football game here at Stanford Stadium, I was walking back to my dorm and I just saw this big tent set up. I walk in, and within 5 minutes, Maroon 5 comes out and plays a full hour-long set.
Another time I was just walking down and all of a sudden this lady walked past and I was like, why does she look so familiar? It was Oprah.